Welcome everyone. Today you're going to discover something terrifying, something the world is trying to keep away from you. Because the moment you sit alone with your own thoughts is the moment you begin seeing the truth. You know what's strange? The loudest moments in life usually change nothing. The parties, the notifications, the endless conversations, the fake laughs, the scrolling, the noise. None of it changes you. But silence? Silence changes everything. Not immediately, not dramatically, quietly, slowly, like rain, destroying stone. And most people will never understand this because they spend their entire lives running from silence. The second life becomes quiet. They panic, they open TikTok, they refresh Instagram, they play music, they call someone, anything, to avoid sitting alone with their own mind. Because silence does something terrifying. It reveals you to yourself. And most people are strangers to themselves. That's why silence feels uncomfortable. Not because silence is dangerous, but because for the first time in a long time, there's nowhere left to hide. No distractions, no entertainment, no fake personality. Just you. And honestly, most people are terrified of meeting the real version of themselves because deep down, they already know something is wrong. They know they're exhausted. They know they're pretending. They know they're wasting time. They know they're becoming someone they never wanted to become. But noise protects them from reality. Silence destroys that protection. And once silence enters your life, everything changes. You start noticing things, the way people talk, without meaning anything, the way friendships feel forced, the way your phone controls your emotions, the way you laugh around people you secretly don't even like. Silence sharpens awareness. Suddenly, you can see through everything, and that's dangerous, because awareness changes people forever. Once you truly see something, you can't unsee it. That's why some people become distant after periods of isolation. It wasn't arrogance, it wasn't ego. They just woke up, and waking up is lonely, very lonely. Because the moment you begin thinking deeply, you realize how shallow most conversations are. Nobody talks about fear. Nobody talks about loneliness. Nobody talks about purpose. Nobody talks about how lost they actually feel. People just repeat trends, repeat opinions, repeat jokes they copied from strangers online. And the more silence you experience, the harder it becomes to tolerate fake energy. You stop forcing conversations. You stop chasing attention. You stop explaining yourself to everyone. And slowly, you begin disappearing from the noise. That's when people say, you changed, but maybe, for the first time, you became real. There's a reason nights feel different, especially after 2 a.m. when the world becomes quiet, your thoughts become louder. That's why overthinkers love the night, because daytime distracts, nighttime reveals. At night, you remember everything you tried to escape, the goals you abandoned, the people you miss, the anger you buried, the emptiness you ignore during the day. Silence brings buried emotions back to life. And sometimes that hurts a lot, because healing is not peaceful at first. People romanticize healing. They think healing looks like sunsets, meditation, and calm music. But real healing looks like isolation, confusion, mental breakdowns, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., questioning your entire existence. That's what silence does. It forces confrontation, and confrontation creates transformation. Think about this carefully. Every version of yourself was created by an environment. Your personality, your habits, your fears, even the way you think, most of it was programmed by parents, school, social media, friends, society. You didn't choose most of it, you absorbed it. Silence is dangerous because it interrupts the programming. For the first time, you start asking questions. Do I even like this life? Who am I trying to impress? Why do I feel empty, even after entertainment? Why do I feel alone around people? Those questions change lives, because once a person begins questioning reality, they stop living automatically, and automatic people are easy to control. That's why modern life is built around distraction, notifications, short videos, endless content, constant stimulation. A distracted mind never evolves, because evolution requires reflection, and reflection requires silence. There's a moment that changes people forever. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. A moment where they stop chasing noise and start listening to themselves. That moment usually happens after pain, because pain creates silence, and silence creates awareness. That's why some people completely transform after heartbreak, or betrayal, or isolation, or failure. Suffering removes illusions. Before pain, people believe everyone cares. Hard work always gets noticed. Loyalty is guaranteed. Happiness comes from attention. Then reality hits them, and suddenly they become quieter. Not because they lost emotions, because they finally understand them. Pain matures people faster than time ever could, especially silent pain, the kind nobody sees, the kind hidden behind normal conversations and fake smiles. Some people are fighting mental wars. Nobody notices. And at night, when everything becomes silent, those wars become louder. That's why silence feels heavier for certain people, because silence amplifies unresolved thoughts, and unresolved thoughts slowly consume the mind. Think about how strange humans are. We can spend years avoiding ourselves, years distracting ourselves, years pretending. But eventually, silence catches everyone. Maybe during a sleepless night, maybe during loneliness, maybe during failure, maybe while staring at the ceiling, wondering why life feels empty, even after constant entertainment. Modern life gives people endless stimulation, but almost no meaning. Endless videos, endless music, endless scrolling. Yet people feel more emotionally numb than ever. Why? Because dopamine is not fulfillment, distraction is not happiness, noise is not connection, and silence exposes that truth brutally. That's why people who spend too much time alone often become philosophical, because silence naturally creates deep thinking. When your mind stops consuming, it starts questioning. And questions change people. What am I doing with my life? Who am I becoming? Why do I feel emotionally disconnected? Why does everything feel temporary? Those questions can either awaken a person or destroy them. Because awareness is heavy, once you realize how fake certain parts of life are, it becomes hard to participate normally again. You start noticing masks everywhere. People pretending to be confident, pretending to be happy, pretending to have purpose, pretending to know what they're doing. But silence reveals something uncomfortable. Most people are lost, completely lost. They just hide it better during the daytime. That's why nights feel emotionally different. At night, the performance ends. There are no crowds to impress, no notifications distracting you every second, just your thoughts. And thoughts are dangerous when they've been ignored too long. Some people discover dreams inside silence. Others discover emptiness. Some discover trauma they buried for years. That's why silence changes people differently. Silence is like a mirror. It reflects whatever already exists inside you. If your mind is chaotic, silence feels painful. If your mind is healing, silence feels peaceful. That's why two people can experience loneliness completely differently. One person feels abandoned, the other feels free. The difference is internal, not external. And maybe that's the real reason strong people protect their solitude so much. Because solitude is not isolation. It's recovery. Recovery from noise. Recovery from fake energy. Recovery from constant stimulation. There's a reason nature feels calming. Forests, rain, empty roads at night, ocean sounds. None of those environments attack your nervous system. Modern life does. Constant notifications train the brain to become restless. Short videos destroy attention span. Social media creates comparison addiction. And slowly, people lose the ability to simply exist peacefully. That's terrifying, because peace should be natural, but now it feels unfamiliar. Some people literally cannot sit in silence for 5 minutes without feeling anxious. That's not normal. That's psychological dependency on stimulation, and companies profit from it every single day. Your attention became a product, your focus became monetized, your mind became occupied by endless content designed to keep you emotionally reactive, angry, addicted, distracted. Because distracted people consume more. But silence interrupts consumption. That's why silence feels rebellious in modern society. A silent person starts thinking independently, and independent thinkers are difficult to manipulate. Once you spend enough time alone, you start seeing patterns others miss. You realize most arguments are pointless. Most trends disappear quickly. Most people fear being alone. Most people are performing versions of themselves. That realization creates emotional distance, not superiority. Distance. You stop needing to react to everything. You stop explaining yourself constantly. You stop seeking approval from people who don't even understand themselves. And honestly, that's freedom. Real freedom is psychological. The ability to remain calm without external validation. The ability to enjoy your own company. The ability to sit in silence without feeling empty. Very few people achieve that, because most people build identities around attention. Without attention, they don't know who they are anymore. That's why silence feels like death to some people. It removes the audience, and without an audience, the performance loses meaning.